Historic. Let's dive on into our next deck here. We've got blue-green Merfolk or fish or whatever you want to call it here. There's a couple different directions you can take this archetype. We're trying one that's a little bit lower to the ground here today. So we're curving out at 3 with Kumena here, as well as Deeproot Waters being at the absolute top end of our curve. The non-Merfolk cards we have in our main deck are a pair of Brazen Borrowers, just a little bit of utility and also extra pressure. The evasion on this can eke out the last few points of damage in matches where we get close but can't quite close. So this card's not only a card that like interacts with the board, but it's also a pseudo reach in a way because of its evasion. And then we've got 4 copies of Adventurous Impulse here. It's possible that this should be Incubation Incongruity, but I think I want to start with Impulse to begin with, just because the flexibility of being able to fetch lands with this card is potentially very reasonable. Also, can we just like take a moment to chuckle about the fact that like Adventurous Impulse exists and then they printed Once Upon a Time? Like, it is comical how much better Once Upon a Time is than Adventurous Impulse. Like, unreal funny. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into some match with this one and see how it goes. Historic is more fun than Standard at the moment, although it was better before they... I agree, Cube. Completely agree. I think the types of decks that Field of the Dead preys on are the types of decks that are just awful to play against. Yeah, the types of decks that Field of the Dead beats up are decks that I don't want to play against anyways. And I actually think the types of decks that Field of the Dead encourages you to play are great for Magic. I think good aggro decks tend to be incredibly satisfying to play against if your deck is built well. All right, I gotta go give them gold for these sleeves, don't I? Well, technically speaking, Duran, to actually you here for a moment, there's technically nothing banned. There's technically nothing banned in Historic currently. Actually, not surprised to see them take my 2-drop here. Gems and coins, I believe, for the sleeves.
Sorry I'm late. I've got
The update is just a quality of life update. Yep. Tap. This can't be blocked. Tap 3, draw a card. All right, what if we just go all in here, huh? I mean, how do we feel about that? If they had Kaya's Wrath, they would have done it last turn, right? So, like, someone in chat asked, doesn't this play into a sweeper? And it does, but is my deck beating the sweeper? Like, I'm not, right? Like, from this position, I'm not beating the sweeper in a million years. So I don't think it's worth playing around a sweeper, because I'm not beating that anyways. Alright, so I think we start by drawing 3 cards. Or drawing a card. And then I can make this unblockable. Go. Don't play around cards you can't beat is the best advice I've ever gotten for you. Thanks. It's good, solid advice. Good golly. Guess I should have smacked them for 2. I was hoping to, like, draw another Merfolk and draw another card. Obviously, that's not meant to be.
I have practiced against many ways.
This card's legendary.
Action.
Well, I'll bet we're gonna have a bad time here if we play against a bunch of Nexus today, or a bunch of Esper today. Lukewarm take. Magic formats where blue-white control is not tier 1 are better Magic formats. This has been Jeff Hoagland's lukewarm take of the day. Yeah, possibly April. I was hoping to hit a 6th Merfolk so I could, like, start attacking while also putting counters on things. Thanks for coming to my Twitch talk. I am cautiously optimistic that... So, okay. I love Control Mirrors too, or I did. I loved Control Mirrors before Dovin's Veto and 3-mana Teferi were cards that existed in those mirrors. My enjoyment of Control Mirrors plummeted with the addition of those cards to the control matchups. Narset also not great. Those cards removed the parts of the control mirrors that I really enjoyed. Yes, they removed a good deal of the player agency.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
That's the one we're looking for.
Oh, I've done the
Perfect. I'm so scared for Corset Teferi. You and everybody else. Ain't we all? I think that's fine. So So whenever their Merfolk enters the battlefield, we get to put a 1/1 counter on something. They're missing their second white, so I'm gonna get aggressive here. Sick. This interaction is so good. So I'm attacking for 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8, 9. Alright. Who's got 2 thumbs and is dead to Akaya's Wrath? This guy right here. Go. Yeah, that's true. They were low enough that even if they wrath there, Deeproot Waters might have pulled us through. I agree with that. Got any wraths? Go fish. Oh, that's great. All right, best card to unmulligan us here. Hoping to draw a green 1-drop on our first turn. I definitely think that Spell Pierce is better than Negate in this matchup, which might be a reason to play it. Could definitely see that. Probably gonna lose Silvergill Adept here if I had to guess. Depends on what the rest of their hand looks like, but Adept's just like a threat that draws a card when it comes into play, which makes it pretty good. Yeah. Oh. Land? Kind of like to draw lands for the next 2 turns. Well, as far as like non-land draws go, Deeproot Waters is towards the top, right? Contrary to popular belief, I don't actually own every borderless card on here. I just tend to pick up the borderless cards for cards I play with frequently, or ones that people have sent, in donations for. Untapped land, please. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Please don't be Plague Mortify. They banned Planar Cleansing. Should they have another answer to this? The feels when they attack with their only creature. Oh, yep. Well, you know. I think I just assemble a hexproof Voltron, right? I think we just build a Bogle. Yeah, we just like start getting these bigger than Lyra. With double Deeproot, it's not impossible. Najo Mage, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub and for the 12th month at that. I appreciate that. Welcome back. These are not unblockable, they're just hexproof. Do I just activate this now? If I activate this now, they get to hit me with Bellhaunt. I think we're definitely pumping. The question is, when am I pumping? It might be right to just pump now. I take 8 on the backswing. Nah, I'm just gonna hit them. I think it's just end of their turn. We're gonna have a lot of damage here regardless, right? Punished. MCO, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that.
I've got time.
So we're getting Wrath. 12, 6, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And just can't beat a sweeper. I'm playing out my cards here to beat spot removal. I can't beat a sweeper, so I'm just gonna try and put lethal into play through a piece of spot removal. If they have Gaea's Wrath, they have Gaea's Wrath. I think this matchup's probably pretty rancid for us on average, just kind of how Magic goes. Yep. Again, not a huge fan of the Esper decks and the blue-white style control decks that have popped up recently. Maybe Pierce is better than Negate. I'm also not sure this really does anything. I just want a little bit of both. Yeah, the games just suck. In my subjective opinion, the games against Esper and Teferi-based blue-white, they're just not fun for the most part. I think Heroic Intervention is worse than just playing counterspells. Even when you do have counterspells and cards that let you interact, they still have Teferi a lot of the time, so you can't play your reactive cards because you're basically playing against a prison deck. Now, I actually think counterspells are incredibly good designs. Counterspells are good designs when there aren't enough of them that you can only play counterspells. When everything you do gets countered, it's not very interesting. When your opponent has a select number of counters and they have to choose how they sequence them, it's interesting. But like, against things like Flash or like the blue-white control deck that's in Standard, where just like, it's an endless flow of counterspells, it's a lot less interesting because the answer is always use my counterspell. When it doesn't matter how you sequence things, then it sucks. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't even think that's strictly true, Hacksaw. I think it's a volume issue more than specific cards are good or bad. I do agree in general conditional counterspells tend to be more interesting because they lead to more sequencing decisions. Probably Nexus. If they're Nexus, I definitely just want to keep attacking them. It's a little uncomfortable. They played this card when it was in Standard a little bit too, Marty. Nice, Johan. Congrats. Yeah, it's like a fog that cantrips in a lot of situations is accurate. They banned Nexus in Pioneer. This is historic. This is lethal, right? 12, yep. All right, fog me. Yeah, I agree, April. Think it's got a shelf life. And again, like, even games like this, where, like, games where we win, they're not very interesting games, right? Just like, oh, we won because they just, like, didn't have their thing. This is not a Deeproot Waters matchup. I know Kumena ended up being okay there, but is this the cut in this matchup? I wonder if it is. It might also be that I want to trim some Adventurous Impulse just because I'm going down on creatures. It's like trim 2 and 2 here. I will say this. The Pioneer ban list update where they talked about Nexus being removed because of the quality of gameplay it generates as opposed to just its win condition, I think is good. That insight into how they're making their decisions is good. It's insight that I like to see. It sets a precedent for them eventually like being like, hey, 3 mana Teferi, GTFO. They're baby steps, April. Baby steps. Think I bottomed that. Man, this card really sucks on one. Am I like not playing Jade Light on one? If I'm not playing Jade Light on one, I want to keep these two, huh? We can go Silvergill into Silvergill Jade Light Bearer. Ban War of the Spark. So what you're saying is Rosewater knows what he's doing, but Watsy doesn't give him full authority. I think there's a lot of people at Wizards that know what they're doing. There's a lot of bureaucracy that goes into the decisions they make, almost certainly. It was, Ian Duke was the one that wrote the article, I believe, not Rosewater, for what it's worth. So, I think I'm going to Jade Bearer and put a counter on this. And then, starting next turn, we'll be holding up Aether Gust, I think. Poor Merfolk. So chilly. Oh, do I get another turn? Oh, I got another turn, chat. Oh, it's so exciting. Do I hold up Gust here, or do I just like Kumena Biomancer? I'm gonna hope I get another turn. I'm gonna go Kumena Biomancer pass. There's a chance I don't get another turn here. I'm taking a calculated risk. Top doesn't bode well for our chances, chat. So, it always feels helpless when they start taking turns. If you're playing optimally and playing to win, you should not concede until they have a second source of card advantage going. So, as long as they just have scries, them taking turns is mostly spinning their tires. They need a flip search for Azcanta, a Tameo, another planeswalker of some sort to really get going and leverage what they're doing. See? And then that happens. Huh? So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 currently. So I can't deal lethal this turn. So I think I'm gonna Biomancer, activate Kumena, which gives me 2 loots. Sick. Now I get to hit them for 5 and have double disruption up here. So we took a calculated risk, didn't die. It was nice. Big fan of not losing the game. So if their last card's Fog, they lose. Goodbye, Felicia. Gusted. Gobble, gobble. And see, matches like that make me think, I do think Pierce is better against Esper in this deck, but I think I want to split it more with Negate. Negate and Gust and stuff like that, the ones that are like hard counters that last longer, are much better against Nexus. Yes, fine. If you're on mobile, the Tuck Teferi link will not work on mobile. You need to open it in your browser. Twitch's mobile app doesn't open Bitleys for security reasons. At least on Android, that's the case. Okay. I think I'm in for Silvergill. Keys' combo is great. 'Twas very good. Very, very good. Green-white tokens maybe with Soul Warden? I'm gonna play Kumena here and just start drawing some cards. This is probably going to be a matchup where the board builds up big and Kumena's going to be great. Want to give myself the best possible chance to draw a 4th land next turn so I can double spell. What if they have a Convoke spell here? Yep. Hey, Pupsky Fritz, thanks for the brand new Prime Sport. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month and keeping me employed. I got a Christmas emote from it too. Sick. Yay, Christmas emotes. Well, that was the right play last turn. It's probably the right play again this turn. Lands. Good golly. When we played the Adventurous Impulse earlier, we didn't have any lands in that either, right? Can I please have a land? Thank goodness. All right, so we're gonna pump up the GM very quickly at this point now. If they don't have anything, Kumena is just like king of these stalled boards, and it's not close. Like, we hit a land for next turn, we get to go Deeproot Waters into Deeproot Elite. Yeah, this game's basically over. We're gonna untap here. My kingdom for auto yield. All right, looking for an untapped green source here. Sick. Ooh, buddy. Let's start powering up the Bogles here. Auto tap, auto yield, you only get one, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's pass it back. We get to pump up the GM at end of turn, and then do this next turn and kill them. They're at 30, they're winning. Accurate. Scoreboard is in their favor. I think this is like a borrower out, sleep in matchup. Not having any Reclamation Sages or ways to destroy artifacts or enchantments in our 75 might be wrong. Why are there Kroll Harpooners in my sideboard? What does this card do? Do I care about anything in the format that kills geese? Yeah, they banned Oko, right? All right, I'm gonna cut Kroll Harpooner. Let's get like some Reclamation Sage in the sideboard. I mean, you beat most flyers by putting a bunch of crap into play and attacking them to death. Player removal is really good creature removal. We didn't lose to Esper because we lost to Lyra. We lost to Kaya's Wrath, is why we lost to Esper. Look at our mana base. Brontodon is not consistently castable. Maybe it's greedy to bottom the land here. Oh, right. This card's legal now. Forgot about that. Seems like a neat payoff in tokens. This means they have another one, right? That's what this attack means. The abilities are on the expensive side. Yeah, I think I just do this turn, because these start to snowball the more fish we play. So we get to Silvergill to start next turn, give ourselves an extra chance to hit a 4th land. I think we start amping up the Silvergill now. I love the fishes! Thank you for the 3rd of a year, Dr. Mr. Punny. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Gonna make our opponent sleep with the fish here pretty soon. Would you like to double block, double block, double block? Would you like to double block? It's a 6/6. Is there a sweeper in my future? Toll Smear. That's sweeper adjacent. I wish I knew that was a card I was playing around. If I knew that was a card I should be worrying about, I would have positioned my stuff differently. Pump this up, diddle the wolf. Attack with these. Maybe this is too aggressive. Or is it just aggressive enough? It's possible I should have put the second counter on this and attacked with a 5/5 and a 6/5 instead of 2 4/4s. Wow, they just took it. Sick. Sounds good, Mage. I bet that one's gonna come up pretty quick. There's been a lot of people that have been bumping the Seasons Past deck. All right, so I think we just attack with this to start. Hey, JVL, thanks for the 34 months. Yeah, not playing around Ruinous Blast here. Just can never beat that card. They're one land away from activating Risk, but that doesn't even really do much here. Kumena's going to pump up the jam really quickly here. Weird that they just took the Lord and not Kumena. What happens if I attack with everything? Math? Math is for blockers. Yeah, you're not wrong. In order to kill Kumena, they have to double block here. And if they double block here, I don't think we win. Yeah, they probably can't come back. I agree. I don't know. Figure it out. Math happens if we attack. Yep. So they actually get pretty good trades here. If they put Tolsmir on this 4/4, they trade. It's like, maybe this isn't good. Okay, so they messed up. They gave us an extra free thing. Tolsmir would have traded for this because my Lord was dying. So opponent missed that, it looks like. Probably doesn't matter. Kumena only makes itself unblockable. So can't give any Merfolk unblockable, just itself. The formation, there was no formation to unbreak. How's Fish been? It's been okay. We got thoroughly dumpstered by Esper, but the rest of the games we've been competitive in, I think. Jade Bearer's been really bad. A 1-drop that I don't want to play on 1 really kind of sucks. I think I'm going to cut those after this. Kumena speakers. Oh, I can't, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Historic build-arounds are 25. Looks like it's not gonna matter. About to get turn 3 Nissa and concede. I forgot about Rex Sage too. Okay, well, no Nissa is good for us. You know. It's Diddle questing beast here. They don't have a payoff. We could have a shot here. I was like, oh, they're mono green. They're not. They have good cards in their deck. Okay, so Speaker trades with Questing Beast next turn. Reaper, you've been here 11 months. Don't make lazy card suggestions. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Sleep and Aether Gust sound great. What else do I want to get rid of here? Need 2 cuts. I don't know what I want to try over Jade Bearer. I'm going to pull up the list and look at all the merfolk we have in a second. I don't know. Impulse has been good trying to like, we've gotten lands with Impulse a few times, and like a few of the games where we've been struggling to hit land drops. So I think cutting cards that are effectively lands in our deck isn't something I want to do. I'm gonna trim a couple of Deeproot Waters here, just because the hexproof isn't very good. Going wide is still nice, but having more expensive cards in our deck also isn't stellar. Harbinger, thanks for the 10 months. We're definitely the beatdown in this matchup. So looking to close games out ASAP. I'm going to keep this in bottom the borrower here. Just want maximum number of fish with Kumena. So hoping to find a couple of 2-drop merfolks in our next 2 draws. Ideally, we're going to go Kumena next turn, draw a card, and then we'll go 2-drop, 2-drop, start putting counters on things. Okay, sweet. So we've got 2 draws here to try and find another 2-mana merfolk. God, we're going to get Mystic Disputed. What an unreal tilt. That's unfortunate. I guess I could have paused and read into that, the leaving the blue up. Super unfortunate.
Close your eyes and listen to the sounds of the water.
Hey, Harbinger, thanks for the 10 months. Looking to draw a Lord this turn.
I'd get out of the way if I were you.
Huh? I think there's not enough data or information to make any suggestions about a meta, so you should just play good cards.
This is why I don't like people.
What do you think? This deck's plan against Grace is definitely just kill them. We're an aggro deck. Something a lot of inexperienced players do a lot of the time is they spend too much time trying to make their aggro deck interactive. The answer to a lot of problems in decks like this that seem like problems is kill them faster. That is the correct answer most of the time. Stop trying to make your aggro deck interactive. If you want to play an interactive deck, play something else. Gosh, if that Kumena hadn't gotten smoked. Mystical Dispute was so brutal. Biomancer is very good. Big agree. Card is excellent. Hey, no worries, Mr. Photon. You've been here a long time and you got that sword. You'll be in chat regardless. I appreciate all the support over the years. Hope your new home experience goes well. Not throwing money away on rent is nice, but random home expenditures definitely need a savings account to cover. What was it? Not to terrify you, but in the first 2 years that Christy and I owned our first house, we had a leak in the basement that cost like infinite dollars to fix, and we had a leak in the basement. We had the main sewage pipe going out of the house get crushed by a tree root, and we had to dig up the front yard. That was almost 5 figures to replace. Like, there was a lot of not great stuff in our first home. Captain Zap Brigand, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hooglandia. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Being an adult is great sometimes. Sometimes.
Fit enough to survive.
Going to replace the furnace and water heater in the first month. Yep, sounds about par for the course. Heater broke on the coldest day of winter last year. It was $5,000 I did not spend. Yep. Yeah, we had, before Christy and I ended up selling our old house, we replaced the AC, and that was not cheap. I think we ended up breaking, like, we lived in our old house for like 5 years, and I did a rough calculation on how much we spent on emergency improvements, or emergency fixes.
One more arrow knocked.
We tracked how much we spent on emergency fixes versus what we would have spent in rent somewhere else. We like just barely did better than breaking even. Game Arcane, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. I don't think I've ever read this card before. They've got the better merfolk than we do, chat. Alright, yeah, we're very dead. Alright, let's make a couple of changes here. Okay, developed some opinions on the cards that we're playing as we've gone. This card ended up being a lot worse than I expected it to be. Just being a 1-mana spell that we're just like never interested in playing on the first turn of the game has not been good. I wonder if Mist-Cloaked Herald is good. Between Deeproot Elite and like other things, I think this card might actually be great here, huh? Brazen Borrower's actually been kind of middling. Lieutenant Dan Ice Cream, welcome, and thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Do I want some of the other unblockable thing? Yeah, I think Merfolk Trickster's been kind of middling too. I think these two might actually be very reasonable. Yeah. Rec Sage. I wanted some Rec Sages in the sideboard over these Harpooners. I think I like that. Let's try it. Let's play 1 or 2 more here. Been barely playing for an hour as of yet. Matches go quick with these aggressive decks. This one continues to feel good. I might throw it up on the website. People tend to be fans of tribal decks. I need to get vampires thrown up there too. Hopefully at some point, Historic and Pioneer will be supported in deep enough that we can have dozens of decks up there for both of them, like we did for Modern once upon a time. In a land before Urza, when Modern was a diverse and interesting format to play. Alright, step one. Didn't get Bone Crushed. Hoping to draw land here. Sick. Hoping to draw land here. I think I just Kumena, right? Like I can tap these to draw a card to try and hit my land drop for the turn. Let's do that. Sweet. Already in. Sub happened on my birthday, but haven't turned it in until now. Thanks for the great content as always. Thanks for the 1.5 years. Hope you had a small birthday. They have another Savage Stomp here. We're very dead to another Savage Stomp. That's unfortunate. This is protection from our deck, so that's not great for us. Yeah, Speaker can block it, this can block it. What am I doing this turn? I think it's just Deeproot Waters. I don't think I want to play this out this turn. This can still block, it didn't attack. I don't think I want to play this out this turn because I want to get a chance to get counters with it before it dies. That's pretty scary. So I think the play here is Deeproot. And then we can start pumping up the Kumena Speaker. If we can avoid taking a trip to Cleveland, we might be okay here. Hey, Fuzzy Jello, thanks for the 10 months. I never want to see another catter of it. It's a flying dork, rude. They have another stomp, are you kidding me? Reckless Rage. Woof. Okay. Alright, so we're just looking for Kumena, right? Are they dead if I attack with everything? They take 3, they block 7, and these, and they take 4 over here, so they're not dead. It's unfortunate. So we're hoping to fade for a turn here. That one's really good against us currently. Oh, we get to go to exactly 1? We get to go to exactly 1? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Papi! Papi! Listen, this match is very important, chat. We are fighting to assert tribal dominance. I'd like to pour one out for Mist-Cloaked Herald there. Both of these cards were real good. So Sleep and Aether Gust both sound great here. What am I cutting? Are pirates unplayable historic? I have no idea. I would love to find out though. Someone asked if I'm taking build arounds for the new set yet. I am not. I'll probably start taking build arounds around the beginning of January. I don't like to have them sit in the queue for that long in advance to accrue extra points. So I try to keep queue inflation down a little bit. Is this a Deeproot matchup? Yeah, I think that's worth pointing out too, Bog Stomper. Just like thinking about the quality of the games that we've played outside of the Esper matchups is just like night and day. Like I was so miserable and defeated playing against Esper, and like the rest of these have just been great. Q inflation. Sounds good. My goal is to generally keep a certain number of decks, number of decks in the queue under a certain point, because every day that a deck's in the queue, I give it a point, right? So basically every day that goes by, I'm kind of giving out what could be money, because it makes people who send me money less valuable if their money puts decks lower in the queue. Want to use my November tier 3 to put pirates in historic? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That card's really good against us, chat. It's really good against Deeproot Waters, especially. No fear. Wide eyes, no fear. Ship it. You should kill it with your kill spell. Why you have to be so mean, Marty? Why you have to be so mean? I think I'm making unblockable things able to, or hexproof things able to kill this for. Oh no! Oh no! They swept all of our dreams into the trash can. They threw them all away. Why did they throw them all away? Oh, Roy, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Mercy. Oh. You could say we're sleeping with the fishes, chat. You could say we're sleeping with the fish. Someone asked for fried fish. Swept out there. It was an accident that I couldn't take my eyes off of moments before the crash. Moments before disaster. Huh. Neat. That's exactly how it works, Sunshine. That card is an Arboreal Grazer Brilliant for Dares. Kinda. It, wow, it works with Reckless Rage. Opponent's deck is really neat. Can it ever beat Esper Control? It probably never beats Esper Control, right? And I'd assume. You think, is that an unreasonable assumption? Do we think their deck has ever beaten Esper Control? They could have a bunch of Ceratops. Maybe a bunch of Ceratops gives them a chance. I guess that's fair. They have Ceratops and they have Registrar. Registrar Alpha's like pretty decent there too. Oh, these Savage Stomps have just been brutal. If you're taking advantage of the whole year of Twitch Prime, I felt I had to donate spontaneously to something. Thanks for the great content and have a good holiday season. Thanks for the biddies, Xenos. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday wherever you're at. I think we might be dead. Flood it out a little bit here. At least we'll always have that first game together, right? Maybe I was supposed to hold up Aether Gust last turn instead of playing the Lord out. This would still kill us a turn later. Yeah. Six lands in our aggro deck, not so good. Needed like Kumena to live there, I think. All right, let's try one more with the fish before we roll on to the next one. Dinosaurs confirmed the superior tribe to Merfolk. Yeah, Coma Cake. All the shillings go in a log, and since those technically aren't dollars, I don't always acknowledge them verbally. I grab them all off of the log after the stream, though. If I don't acknowledge your shilling spent verbally, they do get added at the end. If I'm busy getting flame swept, I don't always mention them verbally. Yep. Speaking of, has anyone achieved Shillionaire? No, it's not possible to have achieved Shillionaire yet. What happens to the Nexus deck in the queue now that Nexus is banned? The person that submitted it is going to replace it with a different deck. They've already reached out to me. If you've ever submitted a deck and it gets banned while you're waiting to be played, you're welcome to replace the banned cards in the deck with something else. Or you are welcome to replace the archetype with something new if replacing the cards doesn't make the archetype still playable. Can't achieve Shillionaire if you keep highlighting messages. That is also true. But yeah, it takes a little over a year of watching, about a year of watching or so to hit 1 million shillings. If my calculations are correct, if you're hitting all the bonuses. Shillionaires don't get rich by spending their shillings, ain't that the truth? Well, our plan here is to hopefully get under them. We're not beating their sustained source of card advantage here, so we're hoping to just, like, attack a bunch. The fact that they missed a land drop here is potentially very good for us. They have a spell pierce. I wouldn't be surprised if they pierce this, just because they won't be able to pierce whatever creature it gets. I think this is a good use of their spell. They can probably figure out that there won't likely be many targets for this in my deck, so. We're currently winning this race, but like just barely. If they add any amount of pressure to the table, we're going to be behind very quickly. Would love any like 1 or 2 mana Merfolk here so we can double spell next turn. Although if we draw a 2-drop to double spell, we're going to have to shock, which is a little unfortunate. Okay. Lead on the one they know about. I suppose if this resolves, we have them on a 2-turn clock, huh? Because this coming into play pumps this. Really? We could see a Tricky Dick come into play here. We could also see Brazen Borrower tempoing something back to our hand. Merfolk Trickster. Huh? I'm gonna miss 1 point of damage to draw a card. Maybe this is wrong. It's a heck of a card. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have tapped this and then hit them with the unblockable one. Maybe that was the line. I tapped the 2/2 and then get in for 1. Yeah, I think that was actually the line. I think I should have tapped this and hit them for 1. I would have put them to 9. Well, on the off chance the mono blue deck that's missed land drops is out of counter spells, this could kill them next turn. Their hand's just like a bunch of air. It's probably pretty unlikely. This attack would be really aggressive if they don't have a lot of other cards. I think they want to leave at least one thing back if they don't have a lot of action. Maybe they only have negates and spell pierces. That would be great, right? They're leaving one thing back. That makes me think we might have a shot here. Because if this resolves, these will be 3/3 unblockables. Which, again, should have hit them for 1 last turn, I think. I think it was a mistake not to on my part. Scary Terry. This is worse against Quench. And worse against Mystic Dispute. So we're dead. Right? It didn't matter. And that's tough to beat. Like they were on the play and they had Thing into Curious Obsession. Hard to beat them. I could make Kumena unblockable. Yeah, but I only had 4, 5, 6, 7 unblockable power there and they were at 10. So my missed point of damage also didn't matter. I actually don't have any sideboard cards here. I think I'm actually just clicking submit. Maybe it's Spell Pierce. Like Deeproot Waters kind of sucks. Spell Pierce is probably fine. Yeah, I think that's the swap. Remember when we were like, why are there Kroll Harpooners in my board? I don't need that card. The ladder is trolling us. Reclamation Sage for Obsession. Nah, I think that's too narrow. I think I'd rather just try and run them down. Trying to resolve a 3-mana spell to answer their 1-mana spell isn't a stellar exchange rate for us. All right, if they don't have a... I think we're going to be in a good spot here. Believe it or not, chat. This game in which we are going to be on the play looks like we're going to be ahead. Okay, explain why I played Silvergill versus Deeproot there on 2. Their deck tends to have Brazen Borrower and other ways to bounce our things, so getting counters onto things isn't really a huge upside. So I'd rather just put more power into play and get attacking sooner. It's a shame we don't have another Merfolk in hand here. If I had another Merfolk, we could do this into this, but alas. Maybe I should have... Nah. I think we've died. Yeah, I agree, Savarho. I hope I don't have to wait another decade to see them experiment with... We're very dead. I hope I don't have to wait a decade to see them experiment play versus the draw. I think, especially with Magic being pushed as an esport, there's a lot of... Not even the esport considerations. Like, the play draw skew is just too high in too many formats. I don't know. I feel like Sneak and Herald made what we were doing better, and maybe we're supposed to lean into that more. Like, maybe Deeproot Waters is just better off as more sneaks, but overall, like, this felt like it had a lot of the typical problems that synergy decks tend to have, which is that while the sum of our parts is very reasonable, our individual card quality as a whole is just incredibly low in this deck. And unlike the Vampire Tribal deck, which we had played earlier in the month, that felt pretty reasonable because it had higher individual card quality, this just really doesn't. Like, if you look at what our cards are in their base stat line on their own, what we have going on here, just doesn't feel like it's quite powerful enough. I have no idea, Android. Hearthstone has the coin, I guess. They give people a free Lotus Petal. It's also in-game effects that balance it. Like Mythgard has how their path stuff works. All right, we're going to dive into some Grixis mid-range up next here. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get set up for this one, so we'll be back in a few with some more Historic. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.